Perfect. I think we are ready to rock and roll. So, teaching with purpose. Everyone sees the screen, yes? Everyone sees my screen. Excellent. Yes. If not, you please always yes. Ah, yes. Dr. Ahmed, you are the best student. Thank you. And Tamil, Dr. Salvan, yes, yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. So we are ready to rock and roll. Thank you, thank you. Don't you love when you have students like that in your class, right? That they have your back? Yes, yes. And you know what? When you begin to teach with my strategies, right? With this mindset and the purpose, you will have every student in your classroom will be on your team. You are going to be like a team. So everybody's watching out for each other. Everybody's helping each other because the goal and the purpose is success, you know? So once the students know that you are in their corner, right? Your purpose is their success. You know what? They are going to love you. They are going to be there with you for good and for bad. And that's what we want. And that's how we are going to transform education. So we don't leave anybody behind. Too many students are left behind. We don't want to do that. So teaching with purpose. I have to warn you, right? that your life could change, your professional life and also your personal life. In fact, this is a transformational webinar. Let me just be very clear. And I don't take this lightly because I really believe in this. In order for you to have that kind of impact in the classroom and eventually in the world, some kind of transformation needs to happen within yourself. You may agree with me that the research shows many people don't have a purpose, right? They don't have a purpose. They go through life, you know, one day at a time. They go to the classroom because they were taught, you know, different idea about what it is to be a professor, and you should do this, you should do that, and you know, show up in the classroom and everyone should listen to you. Not so much, because the world is changing. The world is changing, and our students now, they need to be confident and to speak up and to team up and to collaborate. So we need to show them how to be successful in the real world by showing them in the classroom, by being role models for them. So be very aware, yes? Your life may change forever. And if it does, don't forget me, okay? All right, so today's menu. You know when you go to the restaurant and order, right, from the menu, they give you a menu with a lot of dishes, yes? And you pick one. Why did you pick that one? Or maybe a better question is, why do you think the restaurant don't have just one menu? Hey, one menu, right? Well, if the restaurant has one menu, probably only the people who want to eat what's on that menu would go to that restaurant. And that's not a good business, yeah? The same thing with education. Imagine if you go to the classroom and you teach every student the same, like one menu, you're going to leave students behind. Make sense? So that's a good analogy, right? I thought that's a good analogy because that, you know, reminds you that you need to be diverse. Yes, the way you teach, the way you express yourself, the way you connect to students has to be in very different ways to make sure you reach out to every student in your class. And that's what's going to make you super powerful. So today's menu, the why, the what, and the how. The why. What is the why? What's your why? Why should you care about teaching with purpose? What makes you get up in the morning? What drives your passion and enthusiasm, right? That's the why. And then what? What is the problem? What is the problem with education? And if we know what the problem is, do we know the cause of it so we can solve it? Yes? And then how do we solve it? Well, my friends, today I am going to show you the why. I'm going to help you find your why. The what, the problem, the what we already know. These things don't stay in, huh? Don't they? The what is the problem? We know what the problem is. Yes, too many students are behind, and we're going to go over that. And how can we do that? And I believe that's why you're here, to learn how to be powerful in the classroom by incorporating your purpose and leading with purpose, with confidence, and with the belief that you have this purpose to make a difference, and you together are going to change the world. And believe me, that's possible. That's not too idealistic, okay? Because education, there is nothing more powerful than education, okay? So let's move on. Now, why? The why. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. I think this is better, right? Yes, this is better, one at a time. So here's the why. Why this webinar is important. This webinar is important because too many students are left behind. And this webinar is also important because I want you to enjoy your time with your students. I want your students to fall in love with your expertise, with the courses you teach. You teach mathematics, you teach chemistry, you teach biology, all the hard sciences. I know I have a lot of friends here who are teaching hard sciences, as we call them. I also hope that we have leaders here that are able to make decisions that will allow their instructors to be authentic, right? And to have the opportunity to design transformational learning experiences for the students. Because if you don't, then you are not going to have enough room, right? To create these experiences. So that's why. Okay. Next. Now, the purpose of our lives is to be happy. Do you agree with that? Can you give me a thumbs up or down? Excellent. Now, think about it. In life, whatever it is we're doing, here we go. That's the camera, right? Whatever it is we're doing in our life is for this feeling of happiness, right? Of meaning, of respect, of belonging. You agree? That's what we are doing. The people we have around us, the courses we're teaching, the degrees we are earning, because they all lead to this sense of meaning and purpose and happiness and success and belonging and respect. So that is the main goal when you think about, and that's why it's important to have a purpose, because that's where we find our meaning, in our purpose, our values. Now, what is going to help us achieve or find out that purpose, and then find out the opportunities to fulfill our purpose, the opportunities to engage ourselves and create the what did I say earlier? The opportunity to achieve a degree, right? To earn a degree, or to have meaningful conversations, meaningful work that you can enjoy every day. So you don't become part of the 80% who do not enjoy their jobs, because the school system taught us, and still do, by the way, that, you know, a degree is just for a job. The reason to go to school is for a job. No, because if we teach that, we end up with a job we don't enjoy. But what if we change how we teach, and you still pursue what you want, but then you enjoy what you do, right? I mean, does that make sense? Wouldn't that be incredible if we can pursue what we want to pursue, so we can enjoy when we go out in the real world and get a job? That would be incredible. And that's what we want to do. And in order to do that, we need to change education. And here is the education, right? The why of learning, the what of learning, and the how of learning. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do to make sure most people, if not all people who pursue some kind of education, that your students who come to your class what do we need to do to tell our students, to reassure our students, right, that you are going to enjoy your academic experience here with me as your instructor, and what you are going to learn in your 4 years or 2 years or 3 years, however long they are going to be in your university or school, you are going to learn what you will need in the real world so you can get the job you deserve, because you are going to be working very hard while you are in school. Can you imagine? Wouldn't that be transformational? I think we can, you can change your school, really. The student retention will go up. Student graduation will go up. Student satisfaction surveys will go up. Your career success, longevity will go up, because people will want to work with you. People will want to hire you. People want to have you on their team. That's amazing. So that's what we are trying to do. Excellent. So now, the why, right? Why is it that we don't, why is it that we need to have a purpose? Why is it that we need to inspire our leaders, our professors? Because the graduation rates are too low. My friends, they are so low that it's really embarrassing. No matter where you are in the world, I think we can all agree that graduation rates are low. Give or take, right? Whether it's a little lower than this or higher, give or take. But the general statement that we can all agree is that graduation rates for our students, the graduation rates are too low. And I think we have the human resources, we have the smarts, right? We have the books, we have the experience, and we have the capability to change perspective in how we teach, so we can help the people who are left behind. Because let's be very clear, make no mistake. The people who are behind are who? Usually, who are the students who are left behind? If we are looking in terms of race, and I think I have that coming up, right? But I want you to understand and look at the retention rate. How is it possible that our leaders, right? Our leaders allow this to continue to happen? No, we need instructors. We need professors with a purpose, and the purpose is student success. And together we find the solution, which I have here for you. Another reason why we need purpose and excitement and motivation and inspiration. Another reason to change perspective, the way we teach and the way we lead and the way we think about education in general. This is the 29 developed countries. Perhaps your country is not here. And if it is, it is. But look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. I mean, what is going on? Because usually we say, if we value education, then we find solutions. So people who are systematically left behind have a chance for a better life. Not only people who are already up here with the resources, right? Because of where they are, where they have been born, the access to resources they have. Why should they always go up and up and up? And most of us, right? The students from undeserved communities are always left behind. That's just, moral is wrong. And I hope we can change that. We can change that. We can change that. We need to change that. Okay, here's another why. Graduation rate by race. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. This applies everywhere. When it comes to race, as I said earlier, the white people are always first, and then everybody else behind. Why? Why? I know why, and that's why we're doing this. Yes, because you can't have equity and high quality education if you don't begin your education at the same level. If some people are here and other people are here, then it's impossible to achieve the same thing, because you need far more resources. You need these people who are down here, and we are talking about right? We are talking about the African American, the Hispanics, the natives, all the other races. They are down here, right? So how can they achieve the same thing as the people who are up here? It's impossible. And that's a problem of leadership and policy and resources allocation. So while that happens, we can do what we can in the classroom. But I hope some of you have the ability to change the policy or the ability to shift perception so that you understand why some of these groups of people are always behind and why it happens that these people are on the street today. Do you make the connection? Yes? Do you make the connection between education level, education equality and quality and opportunities in life? That's just wrong. But we're going to change that. Yes, I know we are. I know we are, and we will. Okay, so as you may know, if you have been in my other seminars and webinars, and we just discussed the low graduation rate. I mean, 55%. Okay, 60. Let's be generous, right? 60% of the people who go to college, right, to improve their lives, to get a degree, a certification, they're not going to finish. And my friends, it just so happened that now is graduation season, right? And I was just thinking the other day, how many people are left behind? How many people are feeling the frustration, the stress, the anxiety? How many people who were left behind are on the street now protesting because of this systematic problem that seems to leave a certain people behind? Why of student success? So one of the primary reasons where we can really change this around is you and me, the teachers. We have the power, the way we teach. You know that in the classroom, you are in the classroom with your teachers. You have an opportunity every time you step up in the classroom to make a change. Every time. So now that we are learning about the purpose, and you are going to use it, right, as your foundation, as your inspiration and motivation upon which you can prepare your classes, you are going to walk into the classroom every time with the purpose that, hello, my students, we are here together, and today it's a new day. And today we need to be better than yesterday. That kind of mindset. Yes? So teacher effectiveness is number one that drives student success. So it makes sense that we need to invest in our teachers. We need to invest in training. I know you are taking your time right now to improve your teaching so you can become more effective, so we can help your students. But I'm talking about your leaders. They need to invest in you. For example, they need to bring me in your university. Right? Don't you agree? Yes, that's what they need. They need to offer high quality training to you. They need to offer you opportunities for advancement, opportunities for upskills. You need perhaps better pay, but of course that's that's another webinar. But make no mistake, that's related to effectiveness. Because when teachers are respected, don't you agree? When teachers are respected, are included, are heard, they do better. We have the research. We know it. So this is what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for us. But I can't do it alone, so together we can. Because they need to hear us. Because without students, we don't exist, right? Without our students, we don't exist. There are no schools without students. So we want the students to understand how this whole thing works. So our leaders can really create opportunities for us to become our best in the classroom and in life. Now, my inspiration, my purpose. As you are probably thinking, what is my purpose? What is my inspiration? Let me tell you my purpose and my inspiration. Why I became a teacher and a leader and a trainer and a coach. Well, let me show you my inspiration and my purpose and what drives me. And I cannot wait every day to get up and do something to contribute, to do something better than yesterday, to contribute to the world, right? So we can leave it better than how we found it. My friends, welcome to, I'm introducing my mother. Yes, I haven't done it before and it's a little difficult for me, but this is my mother and my inspiration to the drive and enthusiasm, my purpose today. My friends, my mom was illiterate. Yes. My mom was illiterate because she didn't have an opportunity to go to school. But she was the smartest woman in the world. But because she didn't have an opportunity, her life was limited. When I found out, I think I was in 4th grade or 5th grade, when I found out that my mom couldn't help me with the homework, and I find out the reason, I was determined to change the legacy of my family and the legacy of 800 million people in the world who are illiterate, 500 of whom are women and girls. And this is my purpose. And she is my inspiration. Unfortunately, she's not with us anymore, but she lived with me here in the United States for the last 10 years or so of her life. And she learned how to read. I taught her. I was her teacher. Because I insisted, Mom, you need to learn and you need to speak your voice, your story, because way too many people are left behind because of lack of opportunities, not because they can't do it. And I proved it because people left me, they want to leave me behind because my parents didn't have an education. So that's my why and my purpose. So here, for the longest time, we believed that intelligence is fixed. Believe it or not, there are still people out there who still believe this. And what's worse, there are teachers who believe intelligence is fixed, meaning that, you are who you are, the way you were born, that's your IQ, that's your genes, you can't do anything about it. No matter how hard you are going to work, it doesn't change a thing. Now, that's a big problem. That's a disaster. Can you imagine having a teacher in a classroom full of students who are looking up to the teacher for inspiration and motivation, and the teacher is telling them, oh, don't worry about it. You're not going to do anything because your mother didn't go to school, like in my case. And that's what I have had experienced myself when people wanted to leave me behind because my mom, the statistics, right? Oh, if your mother didn't go to school, why bother? You can do it. But they didn't know anything about my mother, and they didn't know anything about my background. They didn't know my story. And that's where the story and the purpose comes in. You, to make the impact you need to make, you need to know your students' stories. Because if you have students who come from underserved communities, like myself, for example, if you have students in your classes whose parents didn't go to school because they couldn't, because they didn't have an opportunity, my friends, you are in for a treat because that's your opportunity to seize, to make the difference in those students' minds, to tell them, look, you can, with effort and hard work and determination, show them the research, show them neuroplasticity and brain research, which is my webinar tomorrow, and I hope you join me. Show them so they understand that it's not just you talking. We have research that shows our brain, we have the capability to do whatever we want. If number one, we believe it, we believe we can do it, and number two, we put the work in and the effort. And then we have people around us and teachers like yourself to support us. So here's me. You see, just like my mama, my mother. My mother said she couldn't go to school because she didn't have shoes. They were poor. Look, I didn't have shoes. Yeah, that's me right there. You know, that's the only picture I have at that age. And as you can see, it's not very good. Probably I can do something with it to make it a little better. But that's me. A happy little child, yes? Full of ideas and imaginations, and then all of a sudden you grow up and everything stops, right? Instead of, you know, society should help us to keep that imagination going and to achieve our highest potential. You have all these rules and education system that put people down. You know, don't worry about it. So Oprah Winfrey, you probably know her, right? You've heard of her, I'm sure. I don't think of myself as a poor, deprived girl who made good. I think of myself as somebody who from an early age knew I was responsible for myself and I had to make good. How powerful is that? Right? How powerful is that? Because that's me right there. From an early age, I knew I could do it and I had to work for it. So my journey begins. Are you familiar with the Coming to America? Yes, that was me. I worked in a factory. I had, I don't know how many jobs. I didn't have a car. I had to bike to school, to work. I mean, you name it. And this movie reminds me of my journey too, which is a powerful journey because our story is powerful and we need to own it and not be afraid to share it. Education is freedom. Yes, education is freedom because it provides the tools to affect one's own destiny. But, as I said earlier, we need to provide the tools to the people who need it most. So, fulfill your destiny, your purpose. That's our destiny, our purpose. We will never be tired or unhappy or frustrated if we let our purpose be our inspiration and motivation. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want meaning, we want love, we want success and happiness. And we're not going to find it in other people's plans. We need to have a plan for ourselves. So here's the plan, right? Teaching with a purpose. Here's the plan. You have to now, I don't know if you are taking any notes, I hope you are, but if you are not, you can always let me know, and this webinar will be accessible. You can look at it again, you can watch it again, you can share with your friends perhaps, you just let me know. So, if you don't have a plan, just like when you get in the car, right? If you get in a car and you don't know where you're going, you are going to end up anywhere. You are going to waste all your gas, yes? You're probably going to be frustrated. So you need a plan, especially teaching with a purpose. Okay, so let's see if we can have a quick poll here, yes or no. Is education as a progressive discovery of our own ignorance? Yes or no? Can you please answer? Let me see if I can have this. Yeah, can you please answer in the chat? And then I can take a look later. Yes. Thank you. Dr. Ahmed. Let's see, anybody else? Yes. Oh, awesome. Oh, I see Miss Hinz there. That's awesome. I'm so happy you were able to come in. Okay. So excellent. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes. So education is a progressive discovery of our own ignorance. So imagine. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So imagine every day we learn. The more we learn, the more we find out how little we know. Have you had that happen to you? Yes. You know, if you have a routine, which I do because that's what you need, right? 8% of the people who are successful. If you attended my webinar the other day, I was telling you, if you recall, and if you weren't, it's okay, that only 8% of the people achieve their goals. Believe it or not, I am one of those 8 people. You know why? Because I study them. Yes, I spent years, time, resources, because I wanted to understand. I told you that I'm very driven. And I told you why. My mother, my illiterate mother, who was the smartest woman in the world. And that's why I know what they do. And that's what I am doing, what they are doing, so I can achieve my highest potential. I am sharing that with you. In my webinar tomorrow about the brain, reprogramming the brain, that's what all of that is all about. So this is good. This is good news. I'm very happy that you are thinking this way, of course, as I expected. So how do you start the day? If you start the day with a purpose, with a plan, with an intention, then most likely you are going to be in control of the things that you can control. Just like today. Today, our webinar didn't start on time. I had glitches, the Zoom was emailing me and said, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, you know, everyone is waiting for me. They can log in. But instead I thought, okay, let me control my frustrations and emotions, because my friends, meaning you, are going to understand. We are professionals. We understand, we are patient, and we have respect for one another. But you don't know what was inside of me, right? I was stressed out, but within control, right? To the extent that I could. So the first one is intention. Okay? Statement of intention. What is your intention every day? You have to have an intention, because if you have your intention, all of your focus will be on it, so you can achieve it. So you get up every morning and you have an intention for your teaching, if we are talking strictly career. But this applies, of course, to your applies holistically, right? To your personal life and professional life. But with your teaching with a purpose, what's your intention? If you are creating your classes, your lectures, right? You are going to the classroom. What are you thinking before? Right? Oh, you know, I'm going to my class. My intention today is going to be A, B, and C. That's what I'm going to achieve today. And I know I can do it, because it's all about connection. It's all about having this relationship with your students. It's all about being a team and having the respect of your students, which you will earn, right? Because you are a learner-centered educator. You are not teacher-centered. That was 19th century. I know, some teachers still teach that way. And that's why that's why we need to work together to change that. So statement of intention, part of your purpose every day. Have an intention and focus on it. And let me tell you, if you teach your brain, right? If you develop this habit every day, this is one of the most powerful habits you can develop to achieve what you want and deserve in life and in the classroom. So, intention. What's next? The most important day for your class is when? You see, if we had a workshop, because this can be a one-day workshop full of activities, and it's really transformational. And who knows, maybe we'll have an opportunity in the future to have a one-day seminar or 3-hour seminar. So the most important day for your class is when? First day. Why is it first day of class the most important? Well, before you see here, 7 seconds to make a great first impression. Did you know this? Can you tell me yes or no? In the chat there? Because I had a poll, but I think when we updated to the new login information. Thank you, Miss Hind. Yes. So I think the polls, all the questions that I had, they somehow disappeared. Thank you. So imagine, my friends, imagine this. 7 seconds. What's 7 seconds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, when you walk into the classroom, well, when your students walk into the classroom, they only have 7 seconds to have that impression about who you are. They don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about your teaching. They don't know anything about how you created your lessons. They don't know about your purpose. So you only have 7 seconds to make the impression. So what do you need to do? Well, I'll tell you what you need to do. And what I tell you, it's science-based, right? So you see, you need to have this connection with your students, this rapport with your students, okay? And if you fail, right? If you fail to make that impression, because you only have 7 seconds, it will be very difficult for you to make another impression that will be memorable. In fact, there are no seconds when it comes to impressions, because that's how the brain works. And again, tomorrow, I hope you join me. We'll talk about that. So what do you need to do to make sure 7 seconds is transformational? Well, you need to learn as much as you can about your students. You need to communicate with them before class, if it's possible. You need to design your classes, your lectures, with your students' needs in mind. You need to know your students' names, if possible, all of them. You need to be very creative and understand who your students, where are they coming from? Do they come from a underserved community like I was? So then you need to understand, what do they need? If you have students in your class that have different levels of learning, of understanding, of performance, what do you need to do to bring these people together and to also have them be motivated in your class the same way? Because if some people are at a higher level and some of the students are at a lower level, they're going to get bored if you don't have something else for these students up here, right? So you need to think, right? Sometimes on the fly, meaning like on your feet in the classroom. And you can do that by bringing the students together and by sharing your passion and your purpose. If the students know you are there for them and everything you have designed and everything you are going to teach, it's about them and for them, they're going to help you. They're going to help you develop what they need, because they're going to tell you what they need. So 7 seconds. And by the way, my friends, this is everywhere in the world, not only in the classroom. When you meet somebody for the first time, right? When you go to an interview, when you meet with your chair, for example, or a program leader, when you go to ask for a new assignment because you want a new position perhaps within your school or department, because you deserve it, you've been there for a while and you know you can do it, keep in mind the 7 seconds rule. You make it or break it. You are going to be unforgettable or forgettable. So you see, you have a choice. And understanding, knowing the why, will give you the upper hand to prepare and prepare and prepare. Did you know how long it takes to prepare a presentation and to make the impact you need to make? You are probably familiar with Steve Jobs, right? These presentations were amazing. And it was all about the storytelling and the connection he had with his audience and the way he used storytelling, right, to drive impact. And if you read about that, you will see it takes about 30 hours, 30 hours to do the research, 30 hours to put the PowerPoint together, and another 30 hours to rehearse, another 30 hours to practice, you know? Yeah, overnight success takes decades. Time's up, do you agree? Exactly. People who have no idea what it takes to achieve some kind of success, they think like, oh, you are lucky. Yeah, but they don't know anything about it. So I usually say, overnight success takes decades to achieve it. So this is a very important concept here, the 7 seconds. So first impression. To have that impression, first impression memorable, be aware of this appearance, 55%. Now, of course, this makes sense, right? Because if 7 seconds, all there is for people to make an impression about you, obviously they're going to look at you. How you look, how you dress, perhaps, right? And also, my friends, also be aware about the culture. Culture plays an important role as well. So you need to be aware of your cultural background, belief system, because that's what people are going to use to make their own decision. So perhaps in the United States is different than in other countries in the world. But if you are at a global level, if you are an educator teaching your students to interact at a global level, which they will, because we live in a globalized economy, then we need to be aware of precisely what I am teaching here today. So appearance is very important. From the way we look, the way we dress, the way we appear in front of people, whether we are friendly or not, whether we have a eye contact or not, all of it. Voice. Too low, too high, too squeaky, voice is very important. And then communication, just 7%. Can you believe that? You know why? Because if you made the appearance, right? If you made the cut, if you made the 7 seconds impression, then communication, it's important, but you have to first get over these steps before you get to the message. In other words, your message is not going to be impactful if you didn't have a positive here on the appearance and the voice. So you need to work on that. And for that, you need, confidence, and you need to know your material, and you need to know your people, and you need to know your culture, and you need to know your students. It takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of data, right? So that you can have the impact you can have. So first impression, this is it. Strategies for student success first day of class. There you go. How, if you didn't have the opportunity to get all this information before your first class, and maybe you have just a little bit of information during the first day of class, please don't put any syllabus on the board or boring PowerPoints or a bunch of numbers and letters and things like that. It doesn't work. You are going right then and there, you are going to have so many students switch perceptions about you and about your teaching style and about your purpose. What you should be doing during your first day of class, if you have a 3 hours class, spend the first hour on your students, learning about them, sharing your vision with them, sharing your purpose with them, hear their stories. If you have large classes, create groups where they can work with each other and create stories, and then have a student share what they've learned. There are so many different activities you can do to really make this connection, because it's everything is about storytelling and about relationship. You cannot teach successfully unless you are connected with your students at an emotional level, at the heart level, if you will. The students need to know that you have a purpose and the vision, and they are part of it. Share with your students your teaching philosophy. Tell them your purpose and your vision and your inspiration, like I shared with you, my amazing mother. Tell them, why are you a teacher? Why do you teach? What do you plan to achieve with your students? What is your philosophy about student success? Tell them, what do you believe about themselves? Do you think all of them can achieve success in your class? If you do, show them how. Be the role model. Show them, students, this is how you do this assignment. Step 1, 2, 3, 10, and then let them do it. And give them choices and opportunities until they do it right. And I think that's coming up. So breaking the ice during first class, look, everybody loves ice-breaking activities because we want connection. As human beings, we want to connect with each other. Even you see here through the camera, I feel connected with you. You know why? Because I visualize, I imagine, and I have a purpose. And you are part of the purpose. So I'm speaking to you. I'm looking at the camera and I see you there. Yes. So as human beings, I mean, look, with this virus, right? Everybody was isolated. And we had so many problems for mental health and anxiety and stress. Why? Because we are meant to be connected. So that's why breaking the ice, it's really important for you to do during your first day of class. It will pay off the entire semester, believe me. And look at the data. Okay, so first day of class, social icebreakers. Just a few examples here. Self-introductions. Have students introduce themselves. If your class is not too big, Have them introduce themselves individually. Have some questions on the board so each student can answer them. And at the same time, tell students it's important to learn how to introduce themselves, because that's a skill they need in the real world. So you see, right then and there, you connect with your students because you tell them, everything we do in this class, we prepare you for the real world. You introducing yourself in my class prepares you to introduce yourself in the real world to other people when you interview for jobs, and how to persuade other people to hire you. So you see, everything you drive with your students, that's your purpose. So these are just some examples you can do on your social icebreakers during your first day of class, whether it's 1 hour or 3 hours or 4 hours. Don't even worry about it. Once you understand that without having that connection, without connecting your students at a deeper level, your course will not be successful. Will not. And as a result, many students will be left behind. And you are not going to enjoy it either. How do you know first day of class was a success? Ask the students. At the end of each class, have a reflection like I do. Have a journal. You know, the science shows that journaling is extremely important for the brain, to teach the brain new habits. Have a journal and write in it. Students, how was the day today? Like, for example, today, after we finish here together, I have a quick survey for you. That's very important to me. I want to know if I met your expectations and how I can improve. Right? Because we already established that we are more ignorant the more we find out how much we know. I want to improve every day, and I need your help so I can do better next time for you and everyone else. So you do the same with yourself and your class. Ask your students, how did I do today? Be humble. Tell them, the more we learn, the more we find out how little we know. Because if your students see you speak this way, behave this way, they are not going to be afraid to fail in your classes, because they know you are someone who supports creativity and who believes that failure is part of success. I say, if I don't fail, I don't learn. That's my philosophy. If I don't fail, I don't learn. And my goal in life is to be better than yesterday. That's my competition. My competition is me yesterday. So, okay, do you think every student can be successful in your class? Can you give me yes or no? I already know the answer, but I want to ask you, do you think every student can? Now, again, we are talking about the capability of the brain to achieve success by doing the work. Yes, thank you, Miss Hint. Right? So if we believe, then we have to inspire our students to believe also, because many students don't believe. They don't think they can do it. And again, this is part of their socialization, their culture, system belief, cultural belief, religious beliefs, whatever beliefs they have been around, right? Or socialized, raised. So now they come to school and they meet you, the amazing teacher, that you are going to change their lives. Learning preferences. We know that we all have a preference, right? Preference in how we learn, how we speak, how we teach, how we eat, right? How we spend our time, preferences. That's what makes us unique. Now, the important point here is that most people, of course, are unique. Not most, every person is unique. Every student is unique. They have their learning preference, but it doesn't mean they can learn the other ways. And that is critical, because the world we live in today, it's unpredictable. So if you have a preference, let's say, oh, I like to learn by watching videos. Okay, what if the videos don't work? What if technology doesn't work? What are you going to do? Are you going to blame technology? No. So we want to teach the students first that they can learn no matter what. And then if they have choices, they can choose. But first, we want them to understand that no matter the preference, you can learn. So for example, many students struggle with math, right? I know I have many friends here who teach math. And you know why that is? Because the way we have been socialized and raised, that, for example, the myth, the lie, right? That women or girls can do math. That's wrong. That's a lie. We have the science. When I came to the United States, as you know, the United States doesn't have the metric system. They do math differently. I had to learn how to do math all over again. It never occurred to me that I can't do it, of course. I said, well, you know, if I need to work at it every day for, I don't know, a month, that's what I need to do. But I know I can do it. And you know what? I had teachers who said, you cannot do it. Can you believe this? I had professors who told me that I should perhaps change my major or college altogether. Instead of helping me, they were really discouraging me from pursuing my goal. Now, those teachers should not be teachers. They should be taken out of the education profession, because education is all about giving equal opportunities to students so they can achieve their full potential. So yes, okay. We have another poll, and that is this. When it comes to changing student behavior, the teacher must be the primary adjuster. Do you believe with that? Do you believe with this statement? Do you think you need to change the behavior of your students? Like, for example, if the students believe they can do math, are you going to change their behavior by showing the data, which says, yes, you can, and here's how: hard work, strategies, and effort? Yes? You're going to do that? Thank you. Excellent. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, not only that I did math in my classes, but I finished with an A, and I became, yes, thank you. Thank you. And I became a mentor, a math mentor for my colleagues. Yes, me, right here. You're looking at me. Yes? So that, it's just powerful and empowering. Of course, I have yet to go to that teacher. I hope she's not teaching anymore, who told me that I should change my college plans. Okay, so how do we take that purpose? How do we take that purpose and drive it home to the classroom and every student to understand that in order for them to achieve success, something has to change, right? So your purpose is this, is this foundation, right? Your purpose is to make a difference in your students' lives. That's why you are an educator. You believe in that. We believe in that. Okay, next, you know that every student can achieve success. We agreed on that. We have the science who tells us that everybody has the capability to achieve success. Now, the situation then becomes with the school system or the teachers to help students how to do it. How to do it? Here we go. Part of your motivation plan. The ideal self. The ideal self, it's all about who we want to become. Like, for example, you want to become an extraordinary teacher. Yes? You want to improve your teaching quality. You want to be better than yesterday. You want to have a bigger impact on your students' lives. That's your ideal. And now you are looking to understanding how to do that. Okay? So let's look at your actual self. Yourself today. With your students, if your student needs to be here to achieve an A in your class, or, you know, forget about the grades, to learn the learning objectives you have set for themselves. If they show that they can learn what you have created for them, that will make you an extraordinary professor. Okay? And not everybody has to have an A, because A, just grades and tests are useless when it comes to information and learning. So, who students think they are affects what they can and cannot do. And this goes back to self-efficacy, the confidence. Did you know that I've been training a lot of teachers on confidence levels? Many educators, especially first, new ones, first year, second year, don't have the confidence they need to walk into the classroom and connect with their students at the level which shows that, hey, I know what I'm doing, I have a plan for you, and I will never leave anybody behind, right? So the self-efficacy, the belief that you can do it, the confidence level. So if the students don't believe in themselves, the teacher don't believe in herself or himself, that's a problem right there. So, and this is related to growth mindset and fixed mindset. We talked about this just the other day. Let's check the time because time is very important. Yes, we are very good on time. Growth mindset, fixed mindset. I talk a lot about this everywhere, in every seminar, every webinar, every one of my classes, because everything begins here, the mindset, your mindset, right? As I always say, the most powerful computer is where? Right here, between our ears. That's the most important computer we have, every one of us. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what we can do with the computer we have here if we really learn how to use it? Just like a computer, a Mac computer or Windows, whatever computer you're using right now, whatever system you have. Obviously, it's working pretty well, right? They have these updates, like with Zoom, for example. There was an update, and as a result, it's working better. So they have these updates every week, every month, right? An iPhone comes out every year. All these applications, because they want better and faster and cheaper, which is great, yes? But how about our own computer? When was the last time you updated your own computer? Because if you didn't update your own computer on a regular basis, guess what? You are probably going to have some files in your computer from like a long time ago that are no longer useful. So you need to take them out and update your files. And these files can be like, beliefs that are no longer useful, habits that are no longer useful, right? Perspectives, how you see the world, perhaps they are no longer useful. So when you update your own computer, you are going to create a powerful brain that is going to be smooth. It's going to give you the information you need when you need it, without thinking like, oh, what was the name of this? What was the name of that? No, it's going to be quick, just like the machine you're using. Oh, I wish we were together now, live, so we can have this conversation because they're so much fun. But that's okay. Maybe we can have a meeting. Maybe we can have a meeting. I'm going to ask you if we should do that next time, because with a meeting on Zoom, I can see all of you, right, in your camera, and we can interact, so you can speak. That's what we should do next time. You let me know if you're interested. Okay, so the growth mindset, fixed mindset, please take some time to really understand where your students are. Do they have a growth mindset? Because if they do, then you are very lucky. Because every student with a growth mindset, it's really excited to learn. And they're going to show up to your class asking you, hey, Dr. Margaret, Dr. Ahmad, Dr. I don't see all of your names right now. I want to learn today. I want another assignment. I want an opportunity to present to class. That's what they're going to do because they love to learn. From learning, we become empowered. And then we find our purpose, our meaning. Growth mindset is better. Yes. It's better than, I'm going to look at that in just a moment. Yes, growth mindset, this is it. That's what we need. We need a world with growth mindsets so people can take ownership of their lives. So people can become accountable and responsible for their lives and their learning. No more excuses. That's what we want. And who better to do that than us, the educators, to teach our students how to be, the next leaders of the world. So, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, right? We talked about this. I always talk about this because it's important to understand the difference between intrinsic, where the motivation and inspiration comes from inside, from the purpose, right? And the mission. And extrinsic comes from outside. Grades, right? Authority, paycheck, rules, regulations. It has nothing to do with how you feel about the whole thing. And that's not going to last. That's why most people are not doing well in school and in life. In school, if your motivation is extrinsic, please tell your students. If their motivation is extrinsic, meaning to please you and to get a good grade, they will never learn. And that's why when they finish, they may have that degree, but they're not ready for the real world. They don't have the skills, the abilities, the behaviors, the habits, the dispositions, the attitudes. All of those have to be learned in class. And you have to create opportunities for students to practice them. So please, have intrinsic motivation for your students. And how you do that? Have your students be interested in what you teach. Ask them what they want to learn. Give them choices in how to show their learning. Be a team player. Show them your vision and purpose. It's all about them. Without them, you wouldn't have a job. Right? So, moving right along. So the transformational strategy for student success, you see that perception? That perception is about the growth mindset. If they perceive they can do it, they'll find their passion. And when you have the passion and the purpose, you become obsessed. You are no longer interested whether some people like your picture, for example, in the likes. Yes, you want support. Like I want your support in my mission. But if some people don't give me the support or like my webinar, it's okay. I am still going to get up tomorrow morning just as excited because that is my mission and that is my purpose. And that's where I find my authenticity. And that's how we achieve success. So, your persona, how are you going to do all of it? Your persona. Your persona is the most powerful piece of your strategic purpose plan. How you show up in the world. Are you happy? Are you an optimistic person? Because if you are an optimistic person, you think more positively. And that enthusiasm is contagious. Enthusiasm and energy is the new currency of the future. Do you hear me? Do you agree with that? Your energy and enthusiasm is going to be the next currency for the future. If you don't have those two, we are going to have trouble achieving our goals in life. But if you find and you teach from a purpose and a mission, which is your student success, obviously, then you will never have to be in trouble with that because your enthusiasm and passion comes through, just like with me now. So think about your persona. Who are you? The why. Who are you? As a teacher, as a mentor, as a leader, even as a friend, as a colleague, as a spouse, perhaps, as a community contributor, as a global citizen. Who are you? Only you know. Then your course in your class. Always think about the why, the what, and the how. The why, how do you engage your students? All of your students, and you see I have the brain there. A different area of the brain lights up when you do this. And if that lights up, it means that students are committed. They are now motivated to learning in your classes. But you need to know how to design your course so you can have this, the why, the what, and the how. Your teaching style, purpose-driven, right? I know you are a lifelong learner because you are here with me. And we are now getting to the end. You are here with me, so obviously you want to excel, not only in your profession. I bet that you want to become even a better person overall. Am I wrong? Yes, I'm right. Sometimes I'm right. So your teaching style, is it learner-centered? Meaning that it's not only, the belief you have in your students, but everyone in the college. Everyone wants to learn. The culture in your college, it's a learner-centered. Meaning that people, your colleagues, your leaders, your faculty chair, your department chair, they have a growth mindset. I hope they do. And it's purpose driven. And your assignment. Yes, learner centered. That's right. Learner centered. So everyone in your college, it's learner centered. Everyone in your college wants the best for the students and for themselves. They understand that the brain is limitless in terms of capability. So it's our job to develop that capability. And I hope you join me tomorrow to show you how. So your assignments, that's the last one. If you were in my other webinars, many teachers create assignments with the, just based on the subject, what they have to teach, without asking the students, without thinking about the students' needs, without thinking about the skills the students need to practice during the course and then, to show in the assignments. No, my friends, create choices and give multiple practice assignments. Give opportunities to students to show progress. And let them know failure is part of success. If they fail, it means they learn. Okay? And tell them about your failures. All assignments are accepted. Exactly. Exactly. And share with them your stories of failures. We all fail. Failures is part of success. Just study any successful person today and find out how many times they have failed. And that purpose gave them the strength to keep going and going and going, which is another point that's important to make. And that is this: if you don't have a purpose, when you fail, you're going to become discouraged and you are going to give up eventually. But if your mission, if your belief is grounded on your purpose, when you fail, you're going to get back up. You fail again, you get back up. And every time you get back up, guess what? You become stronger, more resilient, smarter, wiser. And that's what successful people do. And that's a secret. Okay? So, what have we learned today? Yes, all students are so creative and imaginative. It's just like, when they go to school, all of that shuts down. Because, many schools around the world are, they still have a plan from 19th century. And, that's a problem. But that's going to change. At least we are the change we want to see in our students. So, to recap, my friends, and then we're going to go to some questions. I hope you have some questions for me. So to recap, what have we learned today? That purpose is everything. When we have a purpose, not only we make the change we want in our students, but we also make the change we want in ourselves. I believe no one should go through life without enjoying who they are as individuals, without enjoying the work they do, for which they have worked so hard and studied so hard, without having the respect they deserve from their colleagues and their leaders, and to have health and enjoyable relationships. Life is to be celebrated. Life is to be enjoyable. And to create meaning and purpose, it's our job. It's our job to find what your purpose is. And I hope today or tomorrow, you take some time out to really go through this presentation and come up with your purpose, and then use it as your inspiration and motivation to make the change you need in your class and in your life, if that's what you wish. So Please join me for the webinar tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have an extraordinary webinar, science-based, and it's all about the computer. We talked about how to update your computer to work even faster than Apple. And if you sign up today, I am going to give you, just for you, for the people who are here now, that stay to the end, a discounted offer. So I am going to send you the discount offer if you're interested. Can you let me know if you're interested right now in finding out about the discount offer? I really need you with me tomorrow. Excellent. So thank you so much. The best teachers are, yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what you see. Isn't this powerful? Thank you so much. I will send you my discounted offer just for the people here. You are my people, okay? You are my people. You are now in my powerful circle of 8%. Together, we're gonna go places. Watch. So, this is the questions now. Before I go to the questions, I want you to have my information. You probably have my information, right? You have my, oh, I see a little bit here. I see a little bit of overlap. But you have my email, you have my name. On my website, you find my, my webinars, my coaching, everything you need. It's on my website. And if you have my email, just send me an email. I will personally email you back. If your institution is interested in having a department-wide, oh, thank you so much. 1 second. If your institution is interested having a department-wide webinar presentation, please let me know. Go talk to them, tell them about your experience here, and bring me to your institution, and we can revolutionize your entire college. And here is the questions. Let's see. So I am going to stop sharing sharing my screen so that we can go to the, hey everyone. Hello. So let's go to the Q&A. Let's see. No open questions. Okay. How many seconds for, oh, let's see. How many seconds? Anybody knows? 7, right?